Welcome back to your Level 6 Math. This is Mr. C with Lesson 36. And you're going to love this lesson because it's one concept. And if you get it, if the light bulb turns on for you, this is going to be a piece of cake. If it doesn't, you just need to practice it a few times. Eventually it's going to click, and this is going to work for you. Today we're looking at subtracting fractions and mixed numbers from whole numbers. This is really easy. All right, so we're going to look at separating problems. Here in this problem, we see there's 4 pies on the shelf. The server sliced the pies into 6 and took 2 1/6 pies from the shelf. How many pies were left on the shelf? So we start with 4. We're taking 2 1/6 away. Let's start by looking at this visually, okay? So we start with 4 pies. They're going to take this last one and cut it into 6ths. So here we have it cut into 6ths. And so we could see if we took away 2 1/6, we could just take 2 full pies away and then 1/6 from here, and we'd be left with 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can see that visually if we draw it all out, right? And it just looks like this. Take it away, the 2 1/6, and we're left with 1 and 5/6. Okay? So that pretty easy if we look at it visually. Of course, we don't want to draw pies every time we need to do a math problem. So we want to look at this arithmetically. So we're going to take our 4 pies, we're going to subtract 2 1/6. Now here is the secret. Here's the one thing you have to know from this lesson. Anytime you're subtracting a fraction from a whole number, like we are here, so we're doing, I guess we're calling that a mixed number, right? Where it's a whole number plus a fraction. When you're subtracting a mixed number from a whole number, you have to subtract that last whole number and change it into a fraction. So here, instead of 4, we're going to change that to 3 and 6/6. That sounds weird, right? 3 and 6/6. But what that does is it gives us a mixed number. Now, 3 and 6/6 is exactly the same thing as 4, so it totally makes sense. You just have to get used to doing that when you need to subtract fractions, okay? So if we take the 4 and 3 and 6/6, so we're going to rewrite it here, 3 and 6/6 minus 2 1/6. Then we can just subtract the fractions. 1/6 from 6/6 is 5/6. And 2 from 3 is 1, so our answer is 1 and 5/6. Not too difficult. Let's try this again. So if we have 5 subtract 1 and 2/3, and we need to subtract that, we're going to change that 5 to 4 and 3/3.
Mr. Manzanares, you have a meeting in room 104.
There you go. Go to your meeting. All right. So if you have 5 minus 1 and 2/3, just change that to 4 and 3/3. It's the same thing as 5. And then you can line those up to subtract. So now we have 4 and 3/3 minus 1 and 2/3. 3/3 minus 2/3 is 1/3. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 and 1/3. It's really that easy. It's going to take some practice. You're going to forget to change the 5 to 4 and 3/3, and that's where you're going to get hung up on this. So we'll practice it. We'll go through the lesson. That's the whole thing today. Piece of cake, okay? Maybe literally a piece of cake if that's what your problem is. All right. See ya.